I'm your host, Eric Eisenberg. Welcome to Hero Blend number 24. After years of waiting, we finally heard some possible news about the future of Hulk past the Avengers Age of Ultron in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're going to dissect the rumors and possibly get into a little bit of spoiler territory, but check it out because we have a great conversation for you. Welcome back, everyone. This week, I am again joined by Silas Lesnick from Coming Soon and the co-host of Most Craved. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So this week, I want to talk about the Hulk, because this is a question that has been kind of around the Marvel Cinematic Universe going back to 2008. The Incredible Hulk is the only Marvel Studios film that doesn't have a sequel. After Avengers, he was a huge hit. Did not appear in Phase 2 at all. I mean, Bruce Banner had his cameo in Iron Man 3. What is the status quo with Hulk right now, Silas?
Well, if we go back to when Incredible Hulk came out, I don't know if it's quite fair to say it doesn't have a sequel, because when it came out, it was one of those, is it a sequel? Is it a reboot?
That's
it
fair.
Sort of fits. We see somewhat of a different origin story in the opening credits, but, like, it kind of was a sequel to a movie that is no longer part of the Marvel Universe.
Right, yeah. The Eric Bana Hulk is basically persona non grata. That's essentially the way it looks, but anyway.
I get why it's on the back burner. I think I'm excited to see Mark Ruffalo.
Absolutely. I mean, he did amazing things with that part in the Avengers. Fans have been clamoring for more of this character ever since, and he was just kind of absent from Phase 2, which is going to put a lot of pressure on Phase 3 for them to utilize this character more.
Shot-for-shot remake of the Incredible Hulk with Mark Ruffalo. That's the solution.
I don't think that's going to happen, but I mean, it's an option. But the big rumor that has been going around, actually, I mean, for a few months now, but it's kind of been reignited this week, is the idea that one of the future ideas for Hulk might be Planet Hulk. And I don't know about you, but I feel like there's a lot of issues with that idea. I mean, you agree, yeah?
I totally get it. Like, I get why that would make a cool movie. I wouldn't do it exactly as it is in the comic.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. You kind of can't, because as Mark Ruffalo was saying earlier this week, that is a Bruce Banner-less story. That is just Hulk being launched off to a planet. And while Andy Serkis talks about how motion capture, there's no difference between that kind of acting and that kind of acting anymore. I'm sure that Mark Ruffalo wants to spend some time as Bruce Banner, and he said so. He's looking to spend time in this character's skin. He's not going to really be able to do that in a Planet Hulk story.
Well, I don't think that's necessarily true. He's not able to do it in a literal adaptation of Planet Hulk.
Yes.
But essentially, you could have him go into space. It's so the Hulk fights space monsters is just what you're trying to jump
But then
towards.
why do you do Planet Hulk specifically? Why not just do anything of Hulk going out into outer space?
It's like how Age of Ultron isn't Age of Ultron in the comics. It's a cool title.
Sure. But the other news that we have been hearing also, in kind of adjacent to that news, is that Hulk might not, he may not end up in Planet Hulk, but he could end up in what may be Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which I'm kind of of two minds about, because on the one hand, Hulk, again, doesn't get his own movie, but at the same time, Guardians of the Galaxy looks fantastic, and I think it would be interesting to see this character interact with that.
It's one of those rumors that, like, I'm kind of annoyed is even a rumor, because I don't mind, Captain Marvel may be in Avengers 2. That's a cool thing to dwell on. Sure. I don't want to know how the movie ends.
Oh, absolutely.
I do not want to know what happens to any of the characters, and it's not something that should have been reported. If it's true...
If it's true. It is a rumor at this point.
But honestly, if he does get shot into space, I think the cool thing would be to then send him cheesy movies and force him to watch them.
Force Hulk to watch cheesy movies.
Yeah, it'd just be a Mystery Science Theater 3000 reboot.
But
with the Hulk.
That is certainly the most interesting idea that I've heard pitched so far. Finally on Hero Blend, so that's an idea, I suppose.
I will say a little more seriously, I am a huge proponent, and I've said this before, that Hulk and Doctor Strange, that is such a cool combination. It is the original Defenders. If you had Avengers end at a point where Bruce Banner is saying, I need to go talk to somebody about this condition, have him go talk to...
Doctor Strange, who we now know exists in the larger Marvel Universe, which I think is a big step. Honestly, I really like that idea. And Doctor Strange, because you're going to be dealing with all these ethereal ideas, you could have him very well enter the mind of Hulk, and there you get a Bruce Banner story, you get a Hulk story at the same time, you have Bruce Banner facing off against the Hulk literally. That is a very good idea.
And you can bring in any variation of the Hulk because it's within his psyche.
Exactly. You can not only bring in any version of the Hulk, you can pretty much bring in anything from the entire Marvel universe, which is an interesting idea. But I mean, to a larger point, one thing that we're discussing is the idea that Hulk could be a add-on to another character's film. It could be an add-on to Doctor Strange. Could be an add-on to Guardians of the Galaxy. We've seen Marvel do this before with Black Widow teaming up with Captain America, Nick Fury, and Captain America. The question is, though, is that really what you want to see? Do you not want to see them try to do another solo Hulk movie?
You know, I do and I don't. I'm happy to see another solo Hulk movie. I'd be happy with teaming up first. If we listen to exactly what Mark Ruffalo says, he sort of says like, "Oh, Planet Hulk would be cool, but Bruce Banner first."
Yeah. Planet Hulk, cool storyline. You want to do it down the road, that's fine. I will also say that there are a few John Carter comparisons that could be made between that story that probably maybe Disney's not immediately interested in bringing back.
I will also say, if the Marvel Universe ever decided to absorb a movie, John Carter, just re-release it. Say it's part of the Marvel Universe. It was a Marvel comic in the 70s. It technically is part of the Marvel Universe.
And it would certainly improve its brand. It would no longer be and it's all under Disney. And so you're full of good ideas tonight. This is really interesting. But, anyway, to get back to the larger point, one thing that we haven't seen from a Hulk solo movie yet, though, is we've kind of seen Bruce Banner facing off against the Hulk. But we haven't seen a movie where they are kind of compatible, where Bruce Banner learns how to control the Hulk and is actually using Hulk to be heroic. I mean, do you think that's something that they should kind of be thinking about now? Is that something kind of in the future?
Honestly, it's a neat idea. I mean, if you could pull off like a buddy comedy between, like, if you could do like Lethal Weapon, but with Bruce Banner and the Hulk,
and that's just his version of Riggs. Absolutely. Well, not Riggs. Martin. No. Yeah, Martin Riggs. This is a weird episode of Hero Blood, people. Let's wrap this up. Silas, there are a lot of options for Hulk. We know he's going to be a big part of the Avengers Age of Ultron. Mark Ruffalo said as much. Joss Whedon has said as much. When do you think we're going to be seeing another Hulk movie, and what do you in what capacity would you imagine that we're going to see it?
I'd rather see it in a team up. I'd rather see him, and I'd rather see him team up with anyone. He can go to Wakanda and team up with the Black Panther. There's no character that wouldn't be interesting having to deal with the Hulk.
This is true. And I mean, hell, you pretty much saw that unfold in Avengers. I mean, he's just a giant green monster that somebody has to control, and it can kind of just be that person. I completely agree. I really like the idea of a team-up movie. An Incredible Hulk movie by itself, it's a challenge. Like, that is a hard movie to make. When I talked to Joss Whedon for Avengers, he even said as much, that Hulk is the hardest character to work with because it's a superhero movie with a character who thinks he's in a monster movie. And it's a lot of things to play with, but if you kind of I feel like if you do add on that extra layer of hero, and you kind of give Hulk someone to balance off of in addition to his monster alter ego, I think that's a formula for success.
I would love to see a story that's more about Bruce Banner learning to understand why the Hulk is important and is part of his psyche.
Absolutely.
Instead of having to deal with it and push it away. And
of course, we can all rely on that eventually leading into Talking Hulk, which I'm personally waiting for. Damn it, Joss Whedon, give us Talking Hulk.
Well, he did.
Well, give us more talk. I want Conversational Hulk. Conversational Hulk. That's coming in Avengers 2. Boom. Silas, thanks so much for being on with me.
Thanks for having me.
Everyone, we'll see you again next week.